I will make sure I speak slow enough for you to understand. Otherwise, this would be a short, confusing episode. Welcome to another DragonLance Saga episode. My name is Adam, and today we're going to talk about the fast-talking, busy-bodied Tinker Gnomes. I'd like to take a moment and thank my collaborator patrons, the Heroes of the Lance, and invite you to consider becoming a patron or member of this channel by visiting the links in the description below. You can even pick up DragonLance gaming materials using my affiliate link. I'm drawing information from the various DragonLance source books, but I may miss something, so feel free to share your questions and comments below. Gnomes are an unassuming race, short, delicate-looking, but industrious as can be. Their traditionally nasal voices are belied by their seemingly never-ending run-on sentences. They have an uncanny ability to both comprehend and communicate simultaneously, and only slow down when addressing other races or when in a moment of peril. Because of their passionate connection with technology and invention in a primarily magical world, they may seem out of place at first glance. But it is in part because of this truly original take on the race that Dragonlance stands out as a setting. As is clarified in Dragons of Winter Night from the Annotated Chronicles, Jeff Grubb explains, "I'll take the blame for gnomes. Gnomes up to that point were the poor relation player characters of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. They were late arrivals. They were one more little people race in the game, joining the doughty dwarves and the happy halflings. They had one cool ability: they could become illusionists, which were already a dungeon master's nightmare. And they could talk to burrowing animals. Yeah, there's a reason to play a gnome. I want to chat with a woodchuck." Gnomes were not the most desirable characters in the bag, but we had to take them into account in the game. So we were casting about for what role the gnomes would play, if any, in Dragonlance. And I started on a riff about my previous occupation, engineering. Most of my brief engineering career had consisted of making repairs of things that other engineers had designed and later discovered were impossible to accomplish. I pitched the idea of gnomes as the ultimate inventors, but that most of their inventions were made in order to fix their previous inventions. Tracy thought that was hilarious, and soon the gnome flingers and all the other devices of Mount Nevermind appeared. The gnomes themselves took on a new lease on life and eventually escaped to space and possibly to other people's campaigns. In Advanced Dungeons & Dragons campaigns, both dungeon masters and players learned to fear when a fast-talking, curious, helpful gnome appeared. And it's all because I made fun of engineers. Their in-world history is the most detailed of any race on Krynn. Every gnome keeps a diary of their work and inventions. This forms a very detailed, tedious, and inexplicably boring history that even the most intrepid scholars balk at. Now, it is known that Reorx forged the Greystone and imbued it with light and power. In about 3500 PC, he consigned the stone to the first king, Nomoi Aldenanakru. Aldenanakru placed it in the Tower of Lunays atop Mount Gareth on Taladas. Around 3100 PC, a Nomoi guard was tricked into releasing it, unleashing magical havoc upon Krynn as the stone drifted west. Reorx sent the largest clan of the gnomes to regain the enchanted stone. Now, this tale differs from the other histories on Krynn, but gnomish ancient history seems to be clouded in even more historic minutiae, and most was actually lost in an accident with a primitive computer invention consisting of a cam shaft data storage facility. Upon arrival on Sancrist, many gnomes gave up the chase of the Greystone, which was the catalyst for their arrival. Eventually, even those who continued in pursuit returned to Sancrist. From their beginning, gnomes have focused on the development of scientific and technological devices, in stark contrast to the magical world they inhabited. They live in a technological world of steam-powered engines, clockwork mechanisms, and ore-refining plants. Their first contact with outsiders were the Knights of Solamnia. In their fear of outsiders, the gnomes decided that they would hide their presence by making Mount Nevermind disappear. This attempt will forever be known as the Day of Rotten Eggs. The entire island was covered in a dense cloud of yellow smoke which smelled of rotten eggs left in the sun for weeks. Within a matter of hours, everyone on the colony was deathly sick. The downside was that the gnomes themselves were also affected by it, and it was only due to the generosity and humanity of the Salamnia colonists that cared for the gnomes that they were able to live through the day. Thus began a long friendship between the gnomes and the knights. Mount Nevermind is their largest settlement. It is an extinct volcano on Sandcrest Isle that the gnomes have hollowed out and cleaned up. The center features a lake and 35 levels of non-stop whistle-blowing, gear-turning, horns-blaring, light-flashing activity. They've created gnome flingers, catapults, to expedite travel between levels and use carts, steam lifts, stairways, pulleys, and ramps as well. Beneath the volcano is a massive undercity, where engineering committees study ways of isolating the dangerous creatures they tend to uncover in their efforts to harness geothermal energy. Externally, the slopes and surrounding countryside of the volcano are used by the agricultural and hunting guilds for farming. There are communities working hard at creating artificial food as well. Society in the mountain is complex, as each clan has its own methods of election. There are some 50 major guilds in Mount Nevermind, and a host of minor ones from Mathematics Guild, Philosopher Guild, Mechanical Engineering Guild, Weapons Guild, Educations Guild, etc., while only 2 guilds have anything to do with life sciences, the agricultural and medical guilds. Outside the mountain, there are settlements across Krynn, usually only numbering under 1,000. Gnomes are generally not well liked. Their technological bent makes them very alien to people accustomed to magic, and their poor grasp of social relations puts off most potential friends. From time to time, one may run across the mad gnomes. These gnomes have no care for technology in general, and if they do invent something, it tends to work a little bit too well. After the Chaos War and the destruction of Mount Nevermind, Reorx lifted his curse on gnomes, and thus the Thinker gnomes came to be. They focused on smaller clockwork and spring devices that regularly work. Tinkering is first and second nature to gnomes. It's in their DNA. Whether they're masters of their obsession or ensnared by it is up for debate, but you will find no other species as fervent about anything. This is so ingrained in them that each gnome has a life quest. The purpose of this life quest is to attain a perfect understanding of one device, though few ever attain this knowledge. This means most gnomes are unfulfilled in their life's work, even passing it on to their progeny. If a gnome or its progeny completes a life quest, they secure themselves and their ancestors a place with Reorx in the afterlife. Though technology has been the cornerstone of gnomish inventions, clockwork mechanisms are a relatively recent development, and they know nothing about electricity. Their obsession with technology is their ultimate undoing, as they see simple mechanisms as failures, thus continually improving upon designs to a fault. Some players are hesitant to add gnomish technology in their games, but keep in mind, though gnomes have technology, they are so incompetent that anything their technology can do, magic can usually do cheaper, faster, and more efficiently. Most of the tech is 30 times larger than necessary. It will make 10 times the noise that it should. It will have many totally redundant features and will fail miserably, if not disastrously, most of the time. Examples of gnomish technology is the net flinger, designed for the Knights of Salamnia. It's meant to trap an opponent from a distance. Unfortunately, it entraps the user half of the time. The aforementioned gnome flinger is the gnome's answer to stairs. It is ostensibly a catapult with nets and backup emergency sponges for a landing system. The flapistry is meant to send moving pictures and sound over distances, though it is enormous and as complex as a time machine. The iron gnome is a suit encasing its wearer, deflecting any damage directed towards it. The blam blower is a sort of oil-based flamethrower. The whoosh wagon is a self-propelled wagon that is slower than horseback. The fargab is a wagon-sized telephone. The Gnome Think Clacker ad is a huge calculator. And the blind guide is a clockwork compass. Finally, the Stewmatic is a food preparation device, turning raw vegetables and meat into an amorphous mass of steaming glop. And that is all I can stuff into this episode. Have you ever played a gnome in a Dragonlance campaign? Are the gnomes you encounter in other advanced Dungeons & Dragons games the same as Dragonlance ones? And how far do you allow gnomish technology to progress in your game? Leave a comment below. I would like to once again invite you to consider becoming a patron or member of this channel, and you can pick up Dragonlance gaming materials using my affiliate link, all of which are in the description below. This channel is all about celebrating the wonderful world of the Dragonlance Saga, and I hope you'll join me in the celebration. Thank you for watching. This has been Adam with Dragonlance Saga, and until next time, remember, you will be beset with failure, but never give up hope. If that happens, you will know defeat.